Hey there, and welcome to the Aging Parent Playbook. I'm Dr. Barbara Sparacino, triple board certified psychiatrist and the Aging Parent Coach. And I help adult children like you navigate the choppy waters of aging parents without losing your mind, your marriage, or your job in the process. This episode kicks off a 4-part mini-series where I walk you through the 4 pillars of my framework. These are the legal protection plan, relationship communication, caregiving and health planning, and the caregiver's own stress and survival. Today, we're starting with the one that usually makes people want to hide under the bed, the legal protection guide, the legal and financial safety net for your parent and for you. If you've ever thought, I know we should talk about wills and power of attorney, but it feels morbid. What if bringing this up starts a huge family fight? Or I'll just deal with it when something happens. Then you are absolutely not alone. Here's the hard truth. By the time something happens, a fall, a stroke, cognitive decline, it's often too late to make calm, thoughtful decisions. You're making legal decisions in an ER hallway with a social worker staring at you and a clipboard in your hand. My goal with this pillar is to move you from, I'm afraid or terrified of this paperwork to, okay, I know what we need, who we need, and where everything lives. So what do I mean by the legal protection guide? This pillar is about power of attorney, so who can help manage your parents' money and decisions if they can't. Healthcare proxy and advance directives, who speaks for them medically and what do they want. Wills and trusts, what happens to their money, house, or belongings. Guardianship and survivorship, what happens if no plan exists and the court has to step in. Preventing financial abuse, how do we protect our parents from scams and sometimes family. Look, I'm not trying to turn you into a lawyer, right? I'm trying to make you empowered enough to ask the right questions and know when to call in professional help. Let me, give you a few questions I hear constantly. Isn't it rude or morbid to bring this up? Look, you are not manifesting disaster by planning. You're being loving and proactive. Not talking about it doesn't protect anyone. It just really guarantees chaos later. Well, my parent is still totally sharp. Do we really need this now? And yes, the best time to do legal planning is when they're still completely capable of deciding for themselves. It's about honoring their autonomy, not taking it away. Well, what if my parent refuses? This is so common. We'll talk in a future episode about scripts and ways to approach this, but your first step is your own clarity. When you understand why this matters, you can speak calmly and confidently instead of from panic or guilt. There are 3 documents I want in the back of your mind after this episode. Power of attorney, known as a POA. This allows someone your parent trusts to handle financial and sometimes legal matters if they no longer can. Without one, you may end up in court seeking guardianship, which is expensive, slow, and can be emotionally brutal. Second is the healthcare proxy, healthcare power of attorney. This names who makes medical decisions if your parents can't. It prevents fights like, mom told me she didn't want that versus, well, she told me the opposite. And 3, advance directive / living will. This spells out their wishes about life support, resuscitation, and end-of-life care. Because you're not playing God, you're honoring their decisions made when they were fully able to think it through. In my course, we go much deeper into how to set these up and what questions to ask your attorney and your parents and yourself. But for this introductory episode, I want you to just notice, do these exist for us? Do you know where they are? Do multiple people know how to access them in case of an emergency? Your one tiny assignment after this episode is to ask yourself, do I know if my parent has a POA, healthcare proxy, and will? If you don't, your only homework is to get curious and not confrontational. Something like, hey mom, I've been hearing a lot about how important it is for families to have certain documents in place as people get older. Do you already have things like a will or power of attorney? I just want to make sure we're prepared so we're not scrambling if anything unexpected happens. And that's it. You're just opening a door. Next week, we're shifting from paperwork to people work. And we're hitting the conflict resolution handbook. Course, how to handle the emotions, the arguments, and those, did we all grow up in the same house sibling moments? If this episode was helpful, hit follow or subscribe, share it with a sibling or a friend who's also caring for an aging parent, and come hang out with me on Instagram at the Aging Parent Coach, where I talk about this stuff every day. I'm Dr. Barbara Sparacino, and this is the Aging Parent Playbook. You don't have to do this alone. Talk to you next week.